Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever side of the diaspora that you may be on. Let me welcome you to the mental house with me, your host, Khadija. Um, let's see. I want to talk about something today that I think is real important, and I think that a lot of us suffer with this. How do I say it? With this illusion of perfection. Um, and with that being said, I'm sorry, you guys. That was my phone call that kind of disturbed me. Um, but let me talk about perfection. I think it's real important. And I'm going to start. I just want to read a little something to y'all this morning and take it with you throughout the day, okay? Perfectionism is common and can be one of the most easily denied and excused flaws in any family. It is also easily misunderstood. Perfectionism includes having unrealistic expectations for yourself and for others, and it is conveyed not only by obvious criticism and belittling, but also by more subtle means, like a well timed frown, a downturned glance, a quizzical look coupled with a pregnant pause, a smirk disguised as a lack of understanding. Um, Here's an example. "Oh, you were embarrassed at that party?" Dad asks innocently with an edge of contempt of at at your vulnerability. What were you embarrassed for? So I'm saying what a trap. He obviously doesn't approve of your feeling embarrassed, but he also wants to know why you were embarrassed. So no matter what you say now, you're in trouble, and the message is strong and clear no matter what. We don't get embarrassed in our family. You failed. You didn't meet a certain expectation. Or take Bill, for example. When he worked on cars with his father, he learned a tremendous amount about automobile engines and radiators, etc. He learned a tremendous amount about automobile engines. I said that already. By the age of 13, he could tear down an engine, put it apart, and back together again. And yet, at the end of every weekend of working on his cars, he always felt, um, and it left a knot in his stomach and had a feeling of worthlessness in his heart because of his father's critical perfection about keeping the garage perfect. Instead of telling Bill or his mother, you, boy, Bill sure did a great job on that car today, which would have been true. But he more often would say, well, someday he'll learn how to be a real mechanic when he learns to clean that damn garage up, negating and invalidating the things that he does that are positive. Perfection, in our opinion, is an unhappy person's way to hang onto the illusion that his life is under control. Perfectionism grows out of the unhappiness and it is breeding ground for constant criticism. Constant criticism is the surest way to leave a child with deep sense of worthlessness and shame. Think of some of your perfectionistic critical statements that you receive from your own parents or teachers or boss, or the ones that you give to your own children right now. Think about it. Why did you spill that milk? Can't you do anything right? Do you have to wear that tie? I wish you could be more like your big sister or your big brother. He always fill in the blank. It's fine that you got three A's and a B, But what is the C for? And why do you want to be an art major? You won't make any money doing that. So why do you want to do that? These are all the critical shoot downs, put downs that we give unconsciously that are so damaging. You don't think anyone, you don't think of anyone except yourself. That's not the way the dishes are supposed to go into the dishwasher. Look at you. You're a mess. You can't say anything that makes sense. You know, and as I begin to think back um, on some of the violations that I may have done as a parent, what comes to my mind is how, things that we take for granted usually are the things that we've learned from other dysfunctional people. Okay. So when begin to think back on the things that I've done that are dysfunctional, um, those are the things that I seek to correct and to now um, present a different tool to my offspring that they may break this cycle of perfectionism, dishonesty, and narcissism. And it's kind of hard to live in a world when you're working so much on how you see the world, and then you begin to see just how dysfunctional most people operate. So, with that being said, know that we're all damaged. Know that we're all have been given a certain amount of download that is unacceptable. But one thing you got to understand is there is no perfect one. I think even the scripture says we are to be perfected. We're not perfect. You're not going to be. Stop expecting that your children are. Give them rules and boundaries and a lot of love. But don't expect perfection because that's the worst thing to put on somebody's mind is that they have to be perfect. It's totally unrealistic. All right? Okay, family. I'll be back a little later. In the meantime, if you like what you hear, like, subscribe, share it. And I'll see you next time in the mental house. Bye bye.